UnTrending truth about.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the UnTrending Truth, our seventh show. This is what? The UnTrending Truth, where we talk about not so popular and untrending topics. I know, every time. And we have
Carolyn Parker.
Carolyn Parker here.
Hi.
Like I said, this is our seventh show. I'll do a quick recap. Last show, Karen did a different style of reading, and I asked a few questions, and we kind of had a discussion at the end, but it ended up like cutting out so bad we cut it short. However, like I said, this is Untrending Truth, talking about not so popular and unconventional topics. And last time, I'll give a quick recap. Karen, like I said, read off about 14, however many years.
It was about 13.
Yeah,
It felt like 30, but
exactly.
it
About
was like 12 to 13 years.
yeah, 12 to 13 years of her life. And to recap, in those 12 to 13 years, she was married for a second time. She had a fourth child. She, in between then, had three foster children. Yes.
Yes.
And what else? You found yourself going out all the time, kind of finding yourself and
Yes.
just out there um, in the streets.
Yeah. Yeah. To put it
Yeah, no.
frankly, to be
Pretty
real about it.
in the streets. Also, during that time, the most, I guess, important story would be for 14 of those years, you were in a same sex relationship.
Yes.
And 2 days really shy of that 14-year relationship, God spoke to you, and maybe, well, you can kind of go from there a little bit, and then I just have questions and stuff too.
Yes, like you said, it was shy of 14 years.
Mhm.
And it was like, as we're talking like now, the Lord spoke to me so clear that He just asked me, so are you gonna keep doing what you're doing? And literally, I had to stop what I was doing and think about what I heard Him say to me.
Mm.
She was in the house. I had actually been living with her for almost a year, and I was getting ready for work that day. And when He said that to me, I literally had to weigh like my options, like up, like
Yeah.
a pendulum.
Yeah.
And I looked over at her and I just told her, I said, I can't do this anymore.
Mm.
And it was just such a yearning in my heart and spirit that I didn't really want to find out what it would be like to make the decision to keep going the same way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
To go against God.
I totally go against God.
Yeah. Yeah. And overall, I mean, and you were able to move out that day.
Yes, I tell you how God works behind the scenes where, if He allows a way out if we're willing to take it.
Yeah.
And He had already was orchestrating a way out for me because I had an apartment that I had already was looking to get into anyway,
Mhm.
but it just that everything just came together so I could say, well, I don't have nowhere to go. So literally that day I was able to make that decision and have a place to live and move out.
And then overall, with it being so abrupt, like what was that conversation? What did she say? Like what happened with you guys? Like what was that like?
Um, for the initial reaction, when I said that I can't do this anymore, it was just basically like what? On her because it was disbelief. She really didn't feel like, well, I'm not ready for this to end. That's what
Mm.
she told me. But as I didn't really rebuttal or anything because basically, like I said, I was on my way to work. So I initially said that was out the door. and it was just like a process of moving things out. It was really no harsh feelings
Yeah.
at the moment. I think it was just so much, just so much movement, getting
Yeah.
things out, moving to my place.
Mm.
Then when things settled down, it was more like, okay, now you sort of feel like a little tension of what just happened.
Yeah. And who helped you move?
I had a good friend of mine that I had at work. He is and was able to get a truck that he helped me move with. Then I had a brother of mine
Mm.
help me out, and
Wow.
you know, yeah, so it worked out where I had, like I said, and my son helped me out.
And
So
a
I couldn't
truck.
exactly. So I couldn't say, oh, I don't have no truck. I don't have no. There was actually
No
no
truck,
room.
manpower.
Exactly. Everything was orchestrated. So, like they say, to the T, where every thing was just
Yeah, one,
just
two, three.
worked out. Yeah,
ABC, one, two, three, lined
yeah,
up.
right.
Like I
So
said,
yeah,
the dots were connected.
the dots were connected
That is a shame. Okay,
totally.
so in the conversation, you spoke about going out a lot, and you didn't use the word neglecting, but in a sense, neglecting your children or um, reflecting on like who was watching them or just where you were at that time. So another question for me was when you were with her, did she have children or anything like that?
Yes, she did have one.
And then
Yes, she
what was
yes.
her, how did she feel, or did she say anything about when you were there and in a sense neglecting or kind of away from your children, or was that a different time?
I think at the time, when people in general is caught up with each other,
True.
children, if you have them and you're doing selfish things, I think every all of them got neglected
Yeah.
to that degree. So it wasn't really a conversation per se about
Mhm.
what about the kids. I
Yeah.
just think we're both caught up
Yeah.
in that, in that the moments.
Yeah. The
So
children get
yeah,
overlooked.
overlooked, a lot of neglect.
Yeah.
I just, feel like now I can call it for what it really is.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't feel like we actually use the word neglect. Yeah.
Neglect.
Yeah.
Right.
Last
Yeah.
time, abandonment, neglect, or whatever. Some of the things, and that's even when it comes to kids, and even going to therapy or getting their healing, or you know what I mean, like because you did have kids and they, that was their
Yes.
life. So in order to get that type of healing, people do have to find those words and use those words in order to heal that. Because
And
yeah,
yes,
at
the
that time,
heal.
yeah,
Yes. And sometimes it's painful to
yeah,
revisit, but it's like such a healing that once you get through all of it, you don't have to go back and sort of redo it because you did it all in at once.
yeah.
So it's go through the pain of it, because it is definitely a healing process.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, but sometimes if you don't call things as they
They
are,
are,
yeah, you
yeah.
don't
You
know
still
what
make
you're,
light of a situation,
yeah, or you don't
like
know what you're healing.
yes, like being delivered from homosexuality. You
Exactly,
know,
exactly.
not I used to like girls, but it's saying homosexuality and you're calling it for what it is.
Yeah,
So nobody, and then nobody can come back later and try to bring it up, to
yeah,
bring it out, to
mhm,
make you feel ashamed of it because
yeah,
you already called it out for what it is.
exactly. They can try.
Well, yeah, they can try, but it's
Yeah,
already been called out.
exactly. They can try. And let's see. And even another question that I had with your last child, and even in that marriage, what type of father was he to the youngest, or what type of father was he during that time, which was an interesting time.
it was very interesting. And normally, like most things, you have a like a honeymoon period when people are trying to impress you, I guess,
Yeah.
to show that they are going to be this person that you want. It's almost like having the right words to say to somebody.
Yeah.
But in that particular time, he started off was a good father. He was very attentive. He
Mm,
was there. Matter of fact, he was there for the birth and everything like that. He was the one that if I'm craving something, boom, he went and
mm.
got it. It
Wow.
was never. So yeah, it was all that. It was that like okay, good. I got that person that I need. Because being pregnant, it made me feel special that I was getting all the needs met, I should say.
Attention.
Oh, attention, that good
Yeah.
attention. So yes, he started off being a very good dad for um I'll say for the first 5, 6 years.
Wow.
And then, like I said, things started to fall off, and then another thing too, as parents, as you know, that come from a blended family, um, a lot of the other children can get neglected if that is not actually their parent.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a matter of choice of that parent to me.
Yeah.
It's you make that decision
Yeah.
how you're going to treat those children. So I felt like, being that I was in my own selfish ways, that I ended up having my children neglected by him
Mm-hmm.
because he didn't treat my other three, I should say, like the one because it was
Mm-hmm.
his.
Yeah.
So
He
that's
really
a lot
wanted
of
you to
pain.
be pregnant, you said, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
He really wanted you to be pregnant.
Yeah, and that was the one thing that I felt like what I said earlier. I said I always felt sort of mad about that because I felt that was something was intentional because he always wanted a child.
Mm.
So hey,
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect
so
setup.
yeah, so I felt
Right.
like it was a setup, but then overall he started out being a good dad, and
Overall.
he did do some things for my children that I have to give him some credit, but like I said, but you look at the bigger picture, and if you go from a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how well does somebody do as being a step parent?
Yeah.
I can rate them, and definitely the children can rate them.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly. And I mean, that's a lot of times that's a whole different ball game. Depends on how everything starts and just all the dynamics. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly,
Yeah, in the situation.
exactly.
So that that's a whole different ball game. Another thing that you have mentioned was that during that time you were obsessed with another woman as well. What was that about? Or how? What was that? Yeah. What was that
Yeah,
about?
I know it's so weird when you think about it, but
Yeah.
I use the
Even the
word.
word.
I could I could have chose another word, but then I'd be
Yeah.
lying to myself. What is what is obsession in any sense? Obsession to me is like when you always thinking about that person. You do anything for that person, no matter like you like. I found myself like get she calls me on the phone. I get out my bed just to go get her a cigarette, and it could be like 10 o'clock at night.
Wow. And then
Come take
she
out
so it sounds
somebody's.
like she knew perhaps. I mean, because
Yeah,
if that was actually the case, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You were
yeah.
not you were getting played, but okay.
Taking my well, people when people see that you're a nice person, they can't take your kindness for a weakness.
Yeah.
And the weakness of that also falls into that self-esteem issue
Yeah.
where you don't have good self-esteem for yourself, so you find somebody that's sort of like taking interest in you, even if
Exactly.
it's a negative type of thing,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
find yourself falling into it. So yeah, I use the word obsession because I just felt like I would do anything for her.
Yeah. You were
Weird, but
easy
yeah.
easy doormat.
Doormat, just yeah. It
Easy.
was so
Yeah. That's I just had to go back to that because it was like, well, like where did she come from and why? And then yeah, I mean, even to visit that, what was the obsession? What was her personality, or what was that? The obsession. I'm sick of this. Can y'all hear that?
oh, I did. It's
Yeah.
like a music thing or something.
It's like this USB or some uh,
Oh,
whatever. But it's, I mean, we'll have to just deal with
You
it.
said her personality.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, what, now that you think about it in retrospect, what was it, or what, why were you obsessed with her? Like, was it the dominant, or the using, or I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. When you get into any type of relationship, I guess it would be. It's hard to say male or female that tries to portray herself as a male. So you try to be this type of like macho type personality that you have. So you are being this, like me, I'm like a nice person.
Mhm.
So for somebody to see how nice I am and I'll do anything for them,
Yeah,
or I don't have any reservations of saying like no or whatever. So they took that as not that I was like weak, but wow, this
yeah,
person is, you know, they'll
yeah,
do anything for me. And it's like you wanting a good man
yeah.
that do things for you. It's just the same type of role play or
Oh wow.
yeah, type of so here you got this person that has a good personality. They cook, they'll drive, they'll take care of your kids or whatever. And it's almost like I found a great person,
Mm,
So, but then they take for myself, it was like, of course, my low self esteem
yeah.
and just wanting to be accepted and then you find somebody that you think is attractive.
Mm,
You think like, oh my gosh, it's a false sense of somebody needing you, you
yeah.
needing them, that
Yeah.
type of thing.
Really, is codependency. And you didn't have any boundaries, and they didn't
No
mind not.
boundaries.
Yeah, they didn't mind not crossing the no boundary line. And
Yeah.
then that was another thing that I asked you, just in general, in the course of your life. And funny that you bring it up. Just like in that lifestyle, it's like, well, why would you want to portray, or why would you want to act like something that you hate, or something that you are clearly not, you know what I mean, or that you have an issue with acting like
Yeah.
a guy or a man. Did you ever, you didn't know at the time when I asked you, because you were in the life then for sure. But I
Right.
just,
Yes.
because you were like, I don't know, but I'm like, well, why act like a man, or portray something that you clearly have an issue with, or you know what I mean? Like, I
That's
never understood that aspect of it, like the stud.
I guess well that's one of the tricks of the devil.
Yeah,
You become somebody that you're really not. Somebody put it very well to me that you were trying to be somebody that God never made you to be.
yeah,
So when you find yourself falling for the same sex and you like they have their acronyms like a stud or
yeah,
fem or
yeah,
that type of person, if you come across as being more masculine as a woman, then you fall into the category more as the male dominant role.
but you
and
understand what I'm saying?
it's
Well, like you said,
yeah, exactly.
confusion though.
Even if so, and if you find yourself, but you know what's really strange, you find yourself being on sort of like opposite sides. I'll give you an example. There was one role that I was the dominant person with one young lady,
Yeah,
and then I was in another relationship where she was the dominant one, and I was more like I wasn't called actually a femme,
yeah.
but but it was like I was still more soft, and isn't it is
Well, I
really
guess that's because God set
confusing.
up roles, man and woman, and so it's
So
almost
you're
like
trying
you
to
have to
jump in.
fall. Yeah,
Yeah, you're trying to
into
jump into a role to play for somebody else. It's almost like playing house. You're just
yeah,
gonna pretend that you're the man or the daddy or whatever, and that's the mommy, and it's sort of like a weird type of way to describe it, but it sort of is because it depends on who that person is. You fall into a type of category. So
yeah,
I found myself being in both for two
yeah.
different type of women.
Depends on who you're with.
Who
Depends
you're
on who
with.
you're with, but you definitely have to fall into that role, because there are roles.
So you see how,
Obviously.
yeah, definitely. So you see how confusing that is.
Yeah,
You have to change your hats depending on who you're with,
but you're the same
how you're
guy.
with.
Yeah,
or yeah, maybe some are wearing the same hat. You might
No,
have
I'm just
two.
saying you're the same hat because you are the same sex. So then
Yeah,
it's like the same thing with men and men or whatever. You fall into that role,
you
and
fall into a role.
yeah, and really that role is set up. But you, like you said, in the confusion or whatever, you, no matter what, it was set up for the right, not the right way. Yeah, the right way, but
Yeah,
the traditional, the right way. But no matter what, you find yourself falling into that role.
a
Like
role.
you're saying, to um, mommy, daddy, or whatever. It's just a lot of confusion.
Confusion. It's
Yeah,
like how do you be a man if you're not?
yeah, yeah,
How do you portray a man if you're really not? You have to really think about it. And I say this because I lived in that lifestyle, and I'm not just making up something that I'm trying to emulate to somebody else. I was in that.
yeah,
I felt the confusion of it.
yeah,
I saw the acronyms that people try to put on themselves to
yeah,
put themselves in a category
yeah,
to fit a certain role. And to me, it's like it's so confusing.
yeah, yeah. I just
I
remember
know who
asking you.
God made me to be
Yeah,
as a woman, but I was not living that role that He made me to be.
yeah, and I never understood it because it was like, well, if you don't like men, then why are you acting like a man? You know what I mean? Like, what? How does that happen? Or you understand? It's like, well, how does that make sense if you don't
Right.
like this?
Yeah, and that's
or
why
this?
it's so confusing.
Yeah,
I don't
you
even know
don't
if I
like
have a
this species,
proper
or
answer.
why are you trying to be like a man, or how are you the man? And you know what I'm saying? You're clearly a woman. But
Right.
yeah, like you said, really it's the trick of the devil. And that's just a part of the whole, um, if it's, lifestyle, the whole ideology, just everything behind it. And
Yeah.
people have to make sense out of it as much as they can. But when you break it down, like you said, in that lifestyle, and at that time, you did not have an answer. You know what I mean? You were
I
just
didn't because you're so caught up in it for one, and you're not trying to find the right answer.
like,
You're
you're
in the
in it.
moment of your sin. So
Yeah,
why try to find the right answer?
yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah. You're in it. You're in
you're
it.
in it.
Yeah. But that's very interesting because when you look at that and you break that down, and I just remember asking you, but you didn't have an answer. You remember me asking you that?
You know what? Which episode was it? I'm gonna go
I
back and look at
know.
it. I'm gonna like, yes.
Now so even in the family when you were in that lifestyle and just period, who did challenge you? I know who challenged you. I
You
know
mean
two.
challenge me?
Like as far as like the questions I would ask you, or the other person, what we would not get into it with you, but challenge you and not really back down, because
Oh,
overall it was just no matter what, we loved you. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And hopefully you felt that, but it was also questions, or like, we don't have to accept that. Or, you know what I'm saying? It was
Right.
we
Right.
had
Yeah.
conversations, but who did anybody else?
Yeah. And yes, I did have. And let me clarify something too, because when you're living in sin,
Yeah,
anybody comes to you with a answer of Christ,
yeah,
or you need to look at your lifestyle.
yeah,
You don't want to hear that from anybody. It
yeah,
doesn't matter who it is.
yeah.
And I did have people in my life challenging me with the question of the lifestyle, and
Mm,
you that is a phase for you, or
mm,
no, you just, you know, I'm
really?
not going to accept it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, at the time I was in that lifestyle, I was angry at anybody that came against it at all, because what was that look about?
I know. I caught the wrath
Yeah,
a few
yeah.
times.
Oh, so it's like
Yeah,
you don't want to hear from anybody.
so
So
defensive,
so
so
yeah, you can
defensive, so
you
easily offended. So it was just so combative.
oh
It was just
man.
ridiculous.
And that was because I didn't want the light to be shown on me.
Yeah.
I knew it's like I know what I'm doing is wrong. So it's like, why are you guys trying to remind me? Um, I
Oh,
have to
why
say,
you were trying to remind it seemed like you were trying to force it on us, like trying to make us accept or
accept,
why didn't we do this and why don't we
accept this
yeah,
person, or
totally,
bec- because you try to make that life a normacy, if that's
yeah,
such a thing to say.
yeah,
So you want people to,
normalize,
if you're gonna accept your husband, why
yeah,
can't you accept my girlfriend? Or you want it to be so normal
yeah,
to everybody.
yeah.
So when they don't accept it, then of course you get angry, you get mad, you stay away from
Now
everybody.
I'm the outcast.
Yeah, you really become the outcast, and you
Yeah.
really want to become that invisible person.
No, I think you were trying to be very visible and wanted her to be
You know,
visible. And it was like you were just fighting, you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? You were fighting for this person, this lifestyle,
Yep.
whatever. But it was like,
Well, two things. Now I can say one thing to that too.
yeah,
I remember specifically, if I said that word right.
no,
Say it for me. Say it for me
specific, specific.
specifically.
Yes,
My mom would laugh at that.
exactly.
Specifically,
Cringe.
I can say this, and I can be
Yeah.
totally honest about this. That I remember telling my mom one time. I said, "Can you guys just stop praying for me? Because I want to live in this lifestyle. So it's like, leave me alone." So
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna
I,
holler.
that is so, but I remember saying
Yeah,
that it's like, just stop, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So,
And I know what
but
that's like too. I mean, I do. I did the same thing to mom. Like, can you just stop all that Jesus talk? Like, you
right, right,
I do
right.
understand that exactly. You
But
know, it's just
woo,
like
yeah,
let me
when you,
be.
yeah, exactly. But when you got people praying for you, whoa, look
Thank
out.
you, God.
Well, one thing I will say, and even to my father that passed, 3 years ago, our dad,
Yeah,
I thank God that they never stopped praying and they never gave in to their beliefs and they never tried to make me feel comfortable in that lifestyle.
yeah.
And I know how I used to buckle and get mad
Horrible,
and don't want to call them, don't want to see them.
horrible.
But I
Acting
got the
like you needed a
opportunity,
whooping.
yeah, but I got the opportunity to go back and tell them
Yeah,
both that I'm
yeah,
so thankful and grateful that they never
yeah,
buckled
yeah,
and they stayed in what they felt was right.
yeah,
And that is one of the biggest things because I always say to myself, I don't know how far that lifestyle would have took me if I would have just threw off everybody and blew
yeah.
everybody off,
To the grave,
you know.
possibly. Yeah,
So I applaud and thank God for my parents and my that really stood true to their word
yeah,
of God.
yeah. No, I don't think you can't say like you didn't feel loved or
I
you
did.
didn't.
I
Yeah, I
did
mean
feel love.
we
I
did
did.
not
I mean,
stop loving you. You know what I mean? I never felt that like you were
no.
outcast, you were shunned, you were whatever. It was like, no, we love you.
Yeah, I
You
yeah,
are
I
my
know,
sister. Used to be so
but
mad with stuff, but it was like, you're my
yeah.
sister. Like, so I,
Yeah,
um,
stuff. But yeah, like I said, when you're doing anything that's wrong
yeah,
and somebody comes to you,
yeah,
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of
defensiveness.
back what you call it, resistance
Yeah, yeah,
and feeling like I don't just leave me alone type of stuff. But you know what? Yeah, I look at it now in my life and I thank God. And yes, I did feel love, but I didn't want it at that moment. I didn't want that kind of love. But I thank God for you guys that you stayed strong in it because yeah, I felt
yeah.
all kinds of like yeah, resistance of my family, like,
You
yeah,
are
whatever.
horrible.
Yeah.
Then I also remember a time where I think, well, I don't want to say your two biggest. I just remember me and
Yeah.
the matriarch. You know what I'm saying? At with it, into it with you a couple times or whatever, but also I had to come back and apologize or, retract and say
Mm,
some words because you can be judgmental, you know what I mean? And I
right.
knew I didn't have to buckle down or whatever because you were my sister. You know what I'm saying? That was my thing. Like, you're my sister, so I can say this, and I do feel this way. But then it was, although I didn't feel what you were asking and requesting was right, um,
Mm,
it was the maybe dismissive, you know what I'm saying, of your
right.
feelings, you know what I mean? Like, there's also another side to it, it's just
Right.
like having
Of
a child,
course.
like
Right.
because I say or whatever, it's not like you don't want to hear
Yeah.
how they feel, or like dismiss their emotions or whatever. So I do remember having to apologize to you, um, definitely one time in particular, but because I just didn't want you to feel like, you know, your feelings or whatever were dismissed. I don't agree, but however, I get what you're saying.
Oh,
I was wrong, or you know what
oh,
I mean. It's
did I
still
forgive
bad.
you?
Well, you forgave us all on one phone call anyway, so yeah,
Oh,
eventually.
oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, 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 you did
it
at
was,
that
I
time. I
did.
mean, we've always had a good relationship, and I've never,
Okay.
yeah, even after a fight or whatever, it still ended okay, or with love or whatever.
Yeah,
But you were just so, you were really fighting for the cause.
I was. I
You
was. I
were.
was. Oh my gosh. I what
Oh,
colors, everything.
just so disrespectful. It was almost
I
like, well,
was.
this is who I am, but it was good because at the same time, your personality, you were such a quiet person, or you kept so much in, just even going back to show one, you know what I mean? And listening to
Oh
all of
yes.
that led up. So it's unfortunate that you went from like being bullied to becoming the bully, but
Mm,
it's almost like you were this snail, or you know what I mean, this person, and you blossomed, although it was the
yeah.
wrong way, for the
Right.
wrong
Yeah.
reasons,
Like I'm
the wrong
here.
fight. Exactly.
Right. Yeah. I
But
know.
you came out. So now I think
Literally.
you are aware of that boldness, but it's for a different reason, a different cause.
Yeah. Different. Yeah. That was a different type of boldness that I'm more proud of for one.
Yeah.
And just and as I said, you can speak being in a situation more of, as being like, oh, I read a book, but no, this is a experience, a life
Yeah.
experience
Yeah.
that I could share this, and it's like we say, a lot of it might be painful to even hear, to think like,
Yeah.
oh my God, you went through that, but
Yeah.
this is real, and just to
Yeah.
know that I can sit here and talk to you and everybody else,
Yeah.
to share that with you, to know that you can come out and be a winner, a godly person
Yeah.
after all of it,
Yeah.
and still have time to go back and ask for forgiveness for
Yeah.
people and stuff,
Yeah.
and feel the forgiveness from others and stuff. So I thank God for this opportunity. I really do.
Yeah, you did a great job. I remember when you were going through the forgiveness thing and you asked for a particular number, and I was thinking like, because in that life in the lifestyle,
Oh
yeah.
yes.
I was like, why?
Exactly, yes. I know.
Was it resistance when you asked, or silence?
It's like, okay.
Or
I'm
let
only
me call this person and
exactly.
pour more.
Yeah, exactly, because
Why?
but 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 the
Uh,
healing, yeah, forgiving process and the
yeah,
healing process. What I will say though to everybody, forgiveness comes to everybody in different, like in I don't know how you say it, in different ways.
yeah, different forms,
Because when
definitely.
you might be ready to forgive somebody, but they might not be ready to accept your forgiveness,
True.
or vice versa. You
Yeah,
might not be ready to go to somebody and ask
yeah,
for forgiveness.
yeah.
So, I thank God that He allowed me to get to that point in my life where it was a definitely a heart change,
No kidding.
where nobody had to come to me and say anything. I knew,
Yeah,
and to have like my sister, like you know the difference in a life.
Oh,
That's the testimony right there.
yeah. I would think me, your kids, there's people that really, really know the
Yeah,
difference in how you are not only just delivered, but it's just like a holiness. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah,
literally like you were here and then you just were removed. You know what I'm saying? And like this new being. And it didn't happen overnight, but kind of, but the it's like you're
yeah,
solid, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Change being, and it is not to be wavered, and it's not like this holy roller or you know what I mean?
Total
Nothing,
fanatic,
yeah, nothing
off
too
the
intense.
wall.
It's just real. Like you are
Yeah,
changed, you are delivered, you don't do this, you don't do that. It's not
no,
any type of judgment or feeling, you know what I'm saying? You have just been changed.
yeah,
And and the good thing was like for dad to be able to witness that and to see that.
yes,
That was an answer, to prayer for his life, and just really just to answer the prayer, a testimony at in his last days to be able to
yes,
witness that,
yes,
yeah,
definitely.
seriously, like that was
Yeah,
an answer to prayer, because you have to think, no matter what, especially as a parent, 14, 15, 10, however many years of your
yeah,
child, it could be drugs, whatever it is, but just in a life, and you don't know if you'll see them come out or whatever. That
exactly.
Yeah, that's a real God thing. And yeah, it's just an answer to prayer.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, I was
definitely.
happy about, yeah, I was happy about that, because even on his deathbed, you were the one.
Yeah, and like I said, at some point, and I hope will give me that chance to share that
Yeah.
special moment
Oh
um,
yeah.
of that conversation that me and him had.
Oh, you taped
You
it
know,
or you have it?
yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
So
Definitely
that
answer
would be
that.
like one of my endings
Yeah.
for this, because that's really a part of my whole testimony,
Yeah.
is to be able to have my dad go on to be with the
Mm.
Lord and see his eldest daughter give her heart back to the Lord. And
Yeah.
and he knew that I was different and I
Yeah.
changed, and like his word would be no pretentious. It was
Yeah.
uh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's when if a person knew you then and the person knows you now, there it's just like it's a no
that
brainer. You
it's like
seriously, like, you have
it's
changed.
like
You
was it's like, was I that bad?
yeah, you were horrible. I mean, you
Woo!
you were almost like that bully for the life. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't
Right,
care. If it was me,
right,
mom, whoever, you
right.
like
God. But see, you know what? That's just like when you are in
yeah.
something, you really don't know how deep you're in it, and
Yeah,
you look around and you don't even realize it.
yeah.
Like,
You're an advocate for whatever it is. You're an advocate
yes,
for it.
I didn't even realize. Yeah,
Well,
I
I
have to
mean,
be
you were
honest and
in
say,
it, and so it was no reason for you to realize the depths of it, but then the to be able to see you come from, the
from it.
deep seas
Yeah,
of it, yeah, to on
but see, that's
high, to,
hey,
you know,
that's I'm
is a testimony. Is a,
there. You go. That's what I was gonna
yeah,
say. That's the part of the testimony, because when you have people around you that see the fruits
yeah,
that your life is different, and you don't have to like wear a neon sign or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
That is definitely a testimony to my heart, and this is why we're doing this, you guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. The thing is also people just need to know that it's possible, because if you don't believe, you don't believe. You know what I mean? So if
Yeah,
you don't believe that there's anything you need to be delivered from or whatever, then this is not for you. But for the people that are searching, for the people that do know better, for the people that doesn't know how it looks, you know what I
mm,
mean? You have the Nicole girl um,
right.
out there, whatever. It doesn't look the same for everybody. She
No,
wasn't delivered instantly. You know what I mean?
no.
And like she said, it's a fight or whatever. Everybody's story is different, but it's possible. And God
Oh
gives you a
yeah.
way out, and He gives
Mm.
you self control, because it doesn't have to be a homosexual relationship. People need that in heterosexual relationships. You
Definitely.
understand? Period.
Definitely.
Single women, single men, or whatever. People need self control. Period. But then when
Mm.
you have that extra label and that spirit, that whole, uh, just something extra added on it, it takes more, but it's
Mm.
possible and it's real.
It is
And
possible.
yeah,
Yes.
and this
Mm.
is one way that it looks, you know what I mean? And I know what it was like. I'm not just interviewing you, I was in it with you. You know what
With
I
you,
mean?
yes.
Yeah, I wasn't
Definitely.
a child, but I am your sister. And that's what I used to say.
Yes.
Because you'd be like, well, why this? And y'all, you do this with so and so. You accept so and so,
Woo.
I wouldn't have too much to say, but like, okay, but you're my sister. You understand? It's different. So it was
Yeah.
almost like a child, a parent, or whatever. So I
Yeah.
went through it as well. I saw the depths. I
Mm.
just saw what it looked like, and
Mm.
when you are going through that experience, um, that's just what it is. You actually do have the history and the knowledge of that experience. So we know what we're
Yes.
talking about. You really know what
Yeah.
you're talking about, you know. But for
Yes.
the person that is looking and seeking to
Mm.
come out of the lifestyle, or like I said, what does something look like?
What does it look like?
Yeah, what does it look like? This is one of the pictures. This is the video of
Like,
what it looks like for you. You know what I mean? And that's the joy of
yes.
life. It's not the same for everybody. It
No.
can't be. But this is your story. Yeah, your shirt. Yeah. Yeah. You
This
didn't even give
is
the
my truth.
disclaimer. You
This
didn't
is
give
my
my
disclaimer. This is my truth. Thank you.
it's her story. Exactly. I know. And mine too. High vibe Angie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
See,
Mom's
that was
high vibes. Yeah,
but yeah, it's definitely worth talking about.
yeah,
It's definitely worth letting somebody else hear.
yeah.
Um, and to hear you as my sister say that, to say I know you're different. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I do.
I do.
I really
And
do.
yeah, me and definitely one of your kids, but I'm saying it's like, oh, it's a difference. And it's not like I said, a holy roller or just opposite. Some people don't know how to transition or whatever. Yours has been smooth, but it's solid and it's real and there's no denying. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And it's
yeah,
not
praise God on that.
and that's all it is. You know what I mean? It's really a transformation. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
You've been taken out and
whew,
rebirth,
right.
reborn.
Rebirth.
Right?
Is that the one? You
Yeah,
used it.
you know. Yeah. In the beginning, we were we were talking about different things, and rebirth came up, but that's what it is.
That's my
The
rebirth.
renewing of the mind. That's another thing that I'm even doing for myself right now, but it's been a renewing of the mind for you, a rebirth, all these
Rees.
Yeah, exactly. But
Restart.
exactly all of that, but it's very
Man,
visible and it's very solid, and we do
well,
see it. So yeah,
man.
and just so you know, because a lot of times people do change and people don't affirm or don't acknowledge, you know what I mean, the difference or whatever. So you really
Right.
aren't sure, and that just adds to some of the issues or problems. But yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, I'm thankful, to be able to have people see change
yeah,
and know that it's real, because there's nothing, like my dad would say, pretentious about it. It's definitely a change that God, that the surrender of it all,
yeah,
and is He lives in me
yeah,
totally now.
yeah,
No shame about it.
yeah.
No shame at all.
And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't. You didn't have any shame. That's just the thing. You didn't have a problem or any shame advocating and rallying for the lifestyle.
Right.
So people
Exactly.
shouldn't have a problem with you advocating and rallying for God or whatever else you believe in.
Right.
You know,
I
because that,
agree.
well, but
I
that's what happens. You know what I mean? It's like, it was okay, you know, for that side, but now it's just like, well, you know,
yeah.
resistance, you know, and it's not for everybody. It really isn't. This platform, this show, the
Oh,
whole. Oh, it's time.
that's
Okay,
it.
yeah, good. I was about to wrap it up anyway. It's late, y'all. It's late here.
Oh,
It's
I was gonna
late
say
for
I can't
her.
get it to stop.
What you
There you go.
say?
I
Yeah,
can't get
no,
it to stop.
I said it's late. It's late. We're doing a very late taping.
Oh, okay.
But
But
no, I was just saying it's just overall it's just a good thing. It really is, and I'm proud of you. Let me see. Are there any other questions? No.
no.
I'll save this one for later. I will. I'll save this one. I pretty much got through um, all the other ones, but I can save this one just even for later. Period.
Okay, if you're
Um,
sure.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because it would start a whole nother show, kind of.
Well, mark your
I
line.
did. I don't know if you can see it, but I did.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, okay.
Absolutely, yeah,
And
exactly.
make sure you remember what book it's in.
They don't even see. Yeah, it's in the book. Telling behind the scenes business.
Yeah. Oh,
Anyway,
okay. We won't. You. Yeah. It's like anyway.
that's an inside joke too. Anyway, but no,
Anyway.
let's wrap it up. You
Okay.
didn't do your disclaimer, but you can say it.
The disclaimer basically, like that, like the shirt says.
Yeah,
This is my story. This
yeah,
is no right or wrong way to tell it.
yeah,
I do want to just tell it like it is, and like you see tonight, that's what we did.
yeah, yeah. And it's overall, every show is different. Every show is, it's always fun, but
Yeah.
it's always a flow to it, which I like and I appreciate. The flow of it, and as we go, just to even tell you guys, as we go, we'll end up do the finale with you and Dad.
Yes.
Have some questions and answers even, and as well, even the plan is to have her kids come on and even give that aspect, the untrending truth of children,
That's
in living through this
the
lifestyle.
lifestyle. Yeah.
Yeah, because
It affects
as
everybody.
a sister, a mother, or whatever, everyone has their own experience and relationship, and just understanding of what it means to go through that. And
Yeah.
sometimes for a lot of people, it never ends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You were delivered, but for a lot of people, it's just an ongoing thing. But at the same time, her children lived through it as well. You have your
Yes.
story, but they were children, you know?
Yes.
So that's the
And if
plan. Yeah. And
and
it's
if I can
really,
concur to that,
yeah,
I hope and pray that all of them will take a part of it because it didn't just affect me. It
yeah,
affected everybody that's in my life.
yeah, yeah.
So
That's the prayer and that's the plan. Either way it goes, I didn't start with a word of prayer, so we can end with the word of prayer, but we will wrap it up. As usual, thank you for showing up. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. It's always great. You can never make this stuff up. We
yes,
can, yeah.
man, shoot,
Right. It's never
like
scripted.
yeah,
Right. We
for
might have
sure,
questions or whatever, it could be before or whatever, but it's never scripted. It's never the same. It's
exactly.
yeah, it is what it is,
It
period.
is
Yeah. But we'll
definitely
end with the word of prayer and wrap it up. So
yes,
dear Lord, we thank you for this time. We thank you for this opportunity once again for Karen to share, for the flow of it and everything that you just add to the show and add to this platform for people to hear, but for more than anything, for Karen to share and for Karen to
mm,
hear her own
yes,
change, her own transition, and her own
mm,
what is it? what is it, metamorphosis
Yes, right.
of
Yes.
her life.
Mm.
And so we just thank you, we thank you, we thank you, and we love you for this time and opportunity once again. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Yeah, yeah. Either way it goes, we will be back. God
Number
willing.
8.
I know.
Like,
And they like whatever, so what? But we like this is good.
yes, exciting. Number 8.
Yeah, because really, going past 1, 2, 3, or whatever, it takes consistency, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes planning. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Yeah.
And then you have to download it. It's different things that come with when people get platforms and get subjects, whatever it is out there. It takes effort. So each and every show, we
Yes.
are excited.
Yes. Yes.
8 might be whatever, to somebody who has 550 or, however many shows
Yeah.
going, but we are like, woohoo, you know,
Yes. Number
exactly,
8.
exactly. Anyway, I know you gotta go to bed.
Yes.
Uh, I should be. I know, I should be. However, we thank you guys for showing up, staying to the end, and just being here with us. And it's always exciting. And like I said, we'll be back for number 8. This is
Yes.
7, the Untrending Truth. I say the title and everything wrong every time, but it's real. And this is what it is. And we thank you. And so, yeah, we just want to sign off and say goodbye.
Okay.
Bye, y'all. Thank you. Adios.
Bye.